The Tertiary Education Trust Fund recently inaugurated 12 Pioneer Centers of Excellence across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. The Centers of Excellence will be known for and characterized by the best brains, profound experts and specialists, up-to-date research, and facilities. They will boast of a crop of brilliant early career and postdoctoral researchers being groomed in an attractive and conducive environment with conditions of service to match global prescriptions and best practices.
The TETFund Board of Trustees is very committed to advancing tertiary education in all ramifications. Today is about another program, also in the field of research and development, the dedication of 12 brand new centers of excellence. This is a very important day for us at TETFund. It's also a very important step for us as a country. May I, on behalf of my colleagues, all of us on the Board of Trustees, and that includes the Executive Secretary, congratulate the 12 universities that have been selected, that have been nominated. You will be trailblazers in the field of research and development.
I am exceedingly delighted to welcome you all to this historic occasion, one that I hope will lay the foundation as well as define the trajectory for the transformation of our beleaguered tertiary education institutions from mere citadels of learning, where inputs and outputs have left much to be desired for far too long, to the springboard of Nigeria's leap into the knowledge economy paradigm, in keeping with the established tradition that ivory towers are the bastion of intellectualism and the breeding ground for creativity, original thinking, and innovation that shape and define civilizations and also drive economies and development. You may recall that upon assumption of duty as ES in 2014, I presented a 5-year strategic plan which proposed the establishment of a new department to drive R&D along with centers of excellence in our tertiary educational institutions, the beneficiary institutions, with the expectation that these centers of excellence would ultimately partner with research institutes and centers, private tertiary educational institutions, and the industry. Thus, when the TETFund BOT approved the creation of the Department of R&D and Centers of Excellence as part of my new 6-point vision of the organization, it conveyed the strong resolve of the BOT to pair Centers of Excellence with R&D as an indispensable component of the latter. Since Centers of Excellence invariably define research and innovation priorities of any country for local, regional, and national needs, TETFund has elected to support the institutionalization of R&D along with the promotion and funding of Centers of Excellence. This new thinking by TETFund underscores the paradigm shift towards deepening our interventions more in the core academic components alongside physical infrastructure development, as we know, for which TETFund is being celebrated and appreciated in our country today. 12 institutions are represented by their heads here today. Vice Chancellors precisely, having been painstakingly selected to host the first batch of TETFund Centers of Excellence. Whilst it is appropriate for each of you here to feel justifiably proud for being deemed worthy of selection from among dozens of eligible candidate institutions, I hasten to draw your attention to the huge burden of expectation that comes with your choice as the pioneer beneficiary institutions of this initiative with immense national significance. The eyes of your peers, and indeed the country at large, would therefore be focused on you.
In the last edition of the program, we analyzed the universities of Abuja, Uyo, Maiduguri, as well as the Nnamdi Azikiwe University. This edition of Paradigm Shift throws a spotlight on 4 more centers of excellence. They all focus on our environment, ranging from biodiversity to agriculture and food security. Lagos, the most populous city in Nigeria and Africa. Lagos is a major financial center for all of Africa and is the economic hub of the country. This megacity has the 4th highest GDP on the continent and houses one of the largest and busiest seaports in Africa. It is one of the fastest growing cities in the world. Fondly called the Center of Excellence, the city hosts the University of Lagos, which has emerged as the TETFund Center of Excellence on Biodiversity Conservation and Ecosystem Management.
The Center for Biodiversity Conservation and Ecosystem Management has been active in the space of conservation, not only in southern Nigeria, but even across Nigeria. We have a team of scientists, multidisciplinary group, botanists, geographers, sociologists, education, geneticists, zoologists, marine scientists, microbiologists, data scientists that have been modeling, that have been collecting endangered, threatened species, that have been collecting even underutilized species and finding what the significance would be for the growth of the country towards the economy. We've collected species that we want to reintroduce that we knew our parents used to eat in the olden days across the Nigerian space, and trying to grow them, breed them for better yield, and also reintroduce them to ecosystems where they can thrive and do well. So over the years, we've been in that space, and we are very happy today that we are being acknowledged by TETFund in that space as a center of excellence.
The University of Lagos, popularly known as UNILAG, is a public research university. It is one of the 5 first-generation universities in Nigeria and was founded in 1962. With its location near the Atlantic coast, it is most strategically suited for research in biodiversity, which is defined by its variability among living organisms from all sources, including inter alia, terrestrial, marine, and other aquatic ecosystems, and the ecological complexes of which they are part of. This includes diversity within species, between species, and of ecosystems.
We have played actively in this space. We have collaborators all over Africa that work with us with all our centers of excellence. We have collaborators in Europe and in the US that work with us. Even this coming week, we have the Arua Center of Excellence on Employment and Skills Development having their first blended conference. And we have people that will be zooming in from Canada, from UK, from Egypt, all over Africa. People are going to be zooming into that conference because we were also active during the COVID-19 response to see what led to what we had when people went into the End SARS movement. We did some interviews with people, the so-called hoodlums, because it's a result of unemployment, it's a result of hunger, to be able to interview them, what are the issues, and all those results will be presented at our conference. So we have really been playing a lot in the space of research within the past 5 years, and we are happy we are being known. We have grants from all over the world in the university now in various areas of research from by various colleagues, and it has improved our teaching methods with our students. because we are able to, from the results of our research, bring the information into the classroom, and it calls for more interaction. You find your students are more interested, they are ready to learn more, because it's not just what they find in the textbooks you are talking about. You are talking about real knowledge.
Located approximately in the center of the country, Jos is geographically unique in Nigeria due to its boundaries of elevated hills surrounding Plateau State. Natural formations of rocks, hills, and waterfalls make this city stand out amongst others in the country. Plateau State is one of the greatest food sources in Nigeria, the largest producer of the Irish potato. Jos, its capital, is home to the University of Jos, which serves as the TETFund Center of Excellence on Food Security.
If you look at the leading economies in the world, the only thing that has moved the development of that country is research. It's impactful research. And for us, of course, University of Jos has been doing research, particularly in the area of food security. Indeed, the University of Jos, one of the main reasons why the University of Jos was created was because of agriculture. But unfortunately, it is only a few years ago that the Faculty of Agriculture was established. But it was established with that mandate of ensuring that the faculty and the staff within that faculty engage in impactful research for economic development of not only the plateau, but of course starting from local development, impacting the local community, and indeed impacting the country as large. And of course, as you know, just being a temperate area where most of the temperate crops actually come from in this country, I think that having that Center of Excellence in Food Security has given us a lot of boost and a lot of significance in order to ensure that at least those crops are researched upon in order to maximize the productivity and the provision of food security in this country.
What became the University of Jos was established in November of 1971 from the satellite campus of the University of Ibadan. In October 1975, the then military government, under General Murtala Mohammed, established UniJos as a separate institution. Though situated in the tropical zone, a higher altitude means that Plateau State has a near-temperate climate with an average temperature of between 13 to 22 degrees centigrade. Harmattan winds cause the coldest weather between December and February. The warmest temperatures usually occur in the dry season months, in March and April. Fruits and vegetables that do well in temperate regions, but not in tropical regions, surprisingly thrive in Jos, in addition to bountiful harvests of other tropical crops.
What we need to do in order to achieve proper food security is to move away from just the production of subsistence crops, is to bring out research in a way that the minimum area that is being cultivated is producing more or less. For example, you see a lot of farmers who have many hectares of farmland that they farm. Let's take an example, wheat. But you see that the product, the outcome of the large farmland is not commensurate, ideally, with what is expected to come out. But what we think that will actually improve the food security is investigations in terms of improving, not only the land itself, the soil, fertility, and so on and so forth, but also integrating technology to ensure that at least the farmers benefit from the contemporary technology. In fact, being an IT professional, one of the things that we've integrated, or we're going to integrate as far as the Food Security Center, is obviously a multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary center. But we are going to also look at contemporary technologies like artificial intelligence, machine learning. How can we deploy artificial intelligence in order to improve, productivity of whatever products that we want to focus on?
Abia State, southeastern Nigeria, has a major agricultural value chain, including palm oil, rice, cocoa, cassava, maize, and cashew that create jobs for teeming women and youths. Abia State has huge potential in agro-processing and human resources, with the potential to be a competitive industrial hub for Nigeria and for Africa at large. The Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, originally the Federal University of Agriculture, is a university in Umudike, Abia State, and was established as a specialized university by the federal government of Nigeria in November of 1992. Since inception, this noble institution has continued to perfect its expertise in the specialized areas of animal science and animal production, agricultural economics, rural sociology, and extension applied food science and tourism. We also have crop and soil science, engineering, and engineering technology. Today, it is TETFund Center of Excellence in Root Crop Research and Development.
Having a center of excellence in root crop research and development will improve our activities in the area of, especially our research in the area of research of root crops in Michael Okpara University of Agriculture, Umudike. It is indeed something that we look forward to, and of course is going to help our progress, our activities in that area a lot. The institution is well positioned to contribute its quota in developing the research efforts in the area of root crop research, in the country. We are properly positioned because of the proximity we have with National Root Crop Research Institute, which is in Umudike, just across the fence. We are also, the personnel we have, the capacity we have, the professors that we have to be able to carry on research that is geared towards development, in the university. These are things that will help us position ourselves towards carrying out research that is meaningful, geared towards development, towards lifting the national economy, and towards helping in achieving food security in the country.
In the northeast part of Nigeria, Bauchi State is one of the states that span two distinctive vegetation zones, namely the Sudan savanna and the Sahel savanna. The Sudan savanna type of vegetation covers the southern part of the state. Here, the vegetation gets richer and richer to the south, especially along the water sources of rivers, but generally, the vegetation is less uniform and grasses are shorter than what grows even farther north or farther south, that is, in the forest zone of the Middle Belt. The Sahel savanna, on the other hand, also known as the semi-desert vegetation, becomes manifest from the middle of the state as one moves from the state's south to its north. This type of vegetation comprises isolated stands of thorny shrubs. This unique trait has made Bauchi an ideal location for research and analysis into the relationship between poverty and food security among rural farming households, the outcomes of which can benefit the entire nation. The Abubakar Tafawa Balewa University is a federal university of technology located in Bauchi. It was established in 1980 as the Federal University of Technology, but is today serving as a TETFund Center of Excellence in Food Security.
Center of Excellence in my institution will help us a lot because fundamentally what we have been doing is more of theoretical research. Now the Center of Excellence will help us in trying to have a relationship between the university, the industry, and the government, so that we have triple helix. And when you have a Center of Excellence, you put more emphasis on the research, unlike when you have just an ordinary center, where you just have only the research, which is on the just periphery level. But these are research which are trying to help to solve problem of human society. So you solve the problems, look at the problems In fact, we are trying to also do this, because in our Faculty of Agric, what we are doing is that we're trying to teach our students the practical aspect of the agric from 200 level up to 500 level, so that they have more of the practical aspect than the theory. And we're working on that. And when we now have this Center on Dairy Research on food security, mostly regarding to dairy research, what we are trying to do, our observation is that we look at the grasses they are eating, the environment they are eating. No, they are not well caged. But when you now have the animals roaming about, they are losing a lot of energy. You don't know what they will eat. But now you try to confine them in a particular place, try to have different type of grass that will give them different type of vitamins, so that at least that it will help them to grow. The issue of the milk is mostly because of the way they are eating. That is a major fundamental. But when we have done that, we improve the quality of the grasses and so on. And we find that even our local cows, the milk yield has improved drastically. And by this, we find that, and we are trying to look at how do now crossbreed between different species of the cattle, so that at the end, what we are trying to do is try to get the optimum cattle that will give us at least a reasonable milk and a reasonable value for the researchers. Because when you put more emphasis on agriculture, and that's what we have been doing now in the university, we found that our strength as a cattle country must be in agriculture, whereby it's very easy for us to catch up with the first world. And in information communication technology. Now what we are trying to do is I want to make sure that along the line, we're trying to let's try to track our cattle anywhere it's going through our handset, so that assuming there are some mistakes or something happened, it was stolen, you can trace it to where it is through GPS. So it's part of the research we are trying to do, we are doing in the university, trying to now blend computer science and the agriculture. So that let's try to see how do you now track not even cattle, even your farm. So we want to do vertical agriculture, and we want to do drip irrigation, so that our smart systems. So that in your house, if, for example, you have a situation whereby a particular land requires a particular type of soil, so we try to look at it, analyze it, what is deficient in that, what nutrient is deficient. Instead of using NPK straight away, we try to maybe it will only require sodium only, or only phosphorus. Yeah, but you don't have to have NPK. So we just isolate the phosphorus and apply, and that will give you a value. And that is one. Two, we try to confine our cattle so that when they are going around, you don't know the kind of insecticide the farmers are using. They will go to the grazing area, they will eat all type of, they will take in all type of chemicals. Then you'll be complaining. They are feeding, but they're not growing. But these are issues that we have to control, try to see how do we now prevent all these things. So that's why we have a mark about 300 hectares for the dairy research.
The earth is our home. It is where we live and the source of our nourishment. We better take care of it. TETFund is playing its part, along with its centers of excellence, to ensure that Nigeria experiences a revolution that leads us to an industrial economy using research and development as a principle. And that is the paradigm shift.